Hey guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about edged weapons and knives and the difference between carrying one for a weapon and carrying one for a tool. Now, you guys may think right now that I have this knife on me and I'm using it as a weapon, but really is that the case? Sometimes it's a fine line, it's a gray area, because if I'm kitted out like this, it would be ridiculous for a civilian to walk around every day like this. But the fact that I have this on and I'm using it maybe for private security, a private security contractor, private military contractor, something like that, then in those cases, it would be something that I would be more likely to wear. And in that case, these are just tools, okay? This is not a weapon, it's a tool. But I'm gonna talk to you about, in general, civilians, regular guys like me. If I'm not being a bodyguard, if I'm not working private military, private security contractor, something like that, how would I carry a knife? How would I carry a knife for a weapon? How would I carry a knife for self-defense? And how would I carry a knife otherwise for a tool, just for daily cutting tasks and using to cut stuff, using to do stuff that I would just normally always do with a knife? But it's really important, in my opinion, to separate those two things, to have one that's available for a weapon that you're not using all the time and getting dull, okay? And to have another one that you're using as a tool, that if you want to open boxes with it, if you want to cut cardboard with it, if you want to use it for any kind of daily tasks, regular tasks, then that's what you're going to use, okay? That's what you're going to do. And so right now we're going to get right into talking about carrying a knife for self-defense versus carrying a daily use knife for a tool. What's the difference and what you need to know. All right, guys, so you can see I've had a change of outfit, but what I've also changed is that now the knives that I'm carrying are designated specific self-defense knives that I'm not going to use unless I need to use this knife for self-defense, unless I need to use it to protect myself, to defend myself. So what really designates the difference? Well, a knife that's ready to go, fast to access, and that can be used efficiently and effectively as a weapon. Okay, so it's got to be something that you're going to, the most effective weapon is a weapon that you have when you need it. It's not necessarily the most effective weapon like you may think in your mind. It's not a Desert Eagle because it's a 50 cal and it's so powerful and has great knockdown power. No, because you're not going to have that in the gym. You're not going to have it on family vacation. You're not going to have it here, there, the other thing. There's just it's what knife or what weapon or what can you always have on you? Well, obviously a bone breaker or something like that you can always have on you. But since we're talking about knives, a neck knife like this, you can also almost always have on you. It's a super effective weapon. It's crazy inexpensive too. This is the EDC Relentless from Bone Tactical. Crazy inexpensive stainless steel blade, frag grip. So I'm going to tell you some things that you want to look for. Don't buy my knife. Don't go buy my knife. You don't have to have mine. You don't have to. This one's a little dirty. I actually used this knife recently in a video of chopping through. You can see here, there's dirt on the back still and dirt all over it. Still sharp though. But I used it for actually beating through and starting a fire and batoning. And you guys might not realize that you can do that with a knife this small and this inexpensive, but you can. Anyway, the things that you want to look for are really effective grip. Okay, you want to have some kind of a swell in the grip pattern or something like this here. You want to have grip like jimping or something like that. This is completely covered with a grenade style fragmentation jimping, okay? You want to be able to hold it reverse or forward grip, forward or reverse, okay? Grip like this. It's nice if you can be able to use both sides of the blade here, front and back. It's nice if you can stab with it. So stabbing, slashing, okay? Lots of things that you want to be able to do the most effective amount of stuff. You want a blade that's long enough, over 2.5 inches, that's long enough to hit vital arteries, even on a very obese or very large person. And with less force, that you can really, if you're cutting and trying to do some slicing, that you can cut connective tissues and arteries easier. It's just a lot better, and you have to do a lot less work if it's a knife that's over 2.5 inch blade length. Okay, so there's so many variables. There's variables on shorter blades that are acceptable for use, like the karambit, but the next thing we'll talk about, now that we've talked about really what's an effective blade, you want a good actual blade part, you want a good solid steel. This is stainless, so it's low maintenance. You want a great grip pattern. The next and hugely important thing is how you're going to carry it. So you want something that can be worn in light clothing. You want something that can be worn comfortably. I can put this on right now and I don't even know it's around my neck. I don't even know I have it on. Nobody else knows I have it on. The absolute most important thing about carrying any kind of a weapon for self-defense is the fact that it's concealed. Because your advantage is surprise. Your advantage is the element of surprise. That's the advantage you have. The advantage that you have is that nobody knows that you have that weapon, and that's when you're going to be able to get it into the fight quickly and use it to defend yourself, and it'll be a force multiplier, a game changer. If everybody already knows you have it, if you're open carrying a big gun or open carrying a knife, that's the difference between a work knife and an edged weapon. Let's say I had a clip-on pocket knife in my pocket. Everybody sees that pocket knife. Okay, everybody, if somebody's assessing whether to attack me or not, they're seeing that I have a pocket knife, and they know I have a pocket knife, and they're not going to let me get to my pocket knife. All right, so what are they going to do? They're going to put their plan of attack against me, knowing that I have that weapon, knowing that I have that open carry firearm. If they're going to rob me, they're just going to shoot me first, so they don't have to deal with it. While I'm not expecting it, then take my gun from me. Then they have two guns. Okay. That's an example, guys, but another way that you can carry this same knife is here. Okay, let me, and that's incredibly fast to access as well. It's faster than a firearm to access, crazy easy to use. I'm literally just moving my hand like this and stabbing and stab and pull back, and it's awesome. This is the same knife here. This is another one. This one's a little bit cleaner. And what am I talking about, the difference here? It's got to be concealed, okay? Amazing sheath systems like what I have. You want retention, you want easy to carry, daily carry, all this stuff. Make sure that your knife is accessible, okay? You don't want a folding knife, guys. Why don't you want a folding knife? It's too many moving parts. You don't have to pull a knife out and open it. I don't care if it's some kind of a stupid wave opening system, whatever you want to call, thumb stud, ninja jinjitsu, okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you have to open your knife, it's just an unnecessary step. And when there's fixed blade knives this effective, okay, that I just reach down and pull it out and I have it in my hand even with multiple layers of clothing getting in the way, there's absolutely no reason to even consider a folding knife as a self-defense tool. Just no reason to consider it. Because anytime that you can have a knife, a fixed blade is always going to be faster to access. And when you can have a better option, you always want to go with the better option. This is light, it's small, it's concealable. Okay, so always search for a fixed blade when you're looking for a weapon. And if you guys want to have a knife in your pocket that you're going to be using, you know, to do cutting chores and things like that, by all means, okay, carry a knife. Or even better yet, carry two. That way, if I want to use one of these knives to cut something, then I just go to one of my knives. And I always, for example, the neck knife. I have two knives on. They're both super comfortable. They're not poking. Okay, super important, like I keep telling you guys, they're not poking me. I can move, I can sit, I can run, I can jog. They're not going to fall out. They're not going to bother me any kind of way that I'm using them. But they're always there. They're comfortable. I always have them. And if I designate this neck knife as the cutting knife for example, anytime I want to cut something, I just pull this out, open a box, okay, and put it away. I put it back in the sheath. It comes in and goes out just as easy. And then this is my cutting. It's dirty. It's beat up. If I forget to sharpen it, it's not going to cost me my life. All right? But the other one here, that's my weapon. This one, I lift my shirt and I grab this when I need to have a weapon, and I don't pull it out and I don't use it for anything unless it's to draw blood. All right? That's a fact right there. And that's what you guys need to really, in my opinion, take it with a grain of salt, learn how to separate carrying something as a self-defense tool, designated as a self-defense tool. If you're going to carry a knife to be handy and to be a man in our current America and to be strong and be able to help others and cut straps and cut, you know, whatever you want to cut and use a knife for living, okay, then that's great, that's good, but just carry two knives. Carry a knife for your cutting chores and a knife for your edged weapon. Your cutting chore knife doesn't have to be fast to access. It can be a big knife that other people can see, which, just remember, that's always going to put you at a disadvantage because people know you have a weapon. It's always going to put you at a disadvantage when people know you have a weapon. But carry a knife if you want to carry a knife that's for cutting chores, and then carry a knife as well. If you're going to carry a knife for self-defense, it should be concealed. in review, it should be concealed, it should be easy to access, easy and fast to access, easy to carry, and it should be just a knife that you're going to remember and be comfortable with and carry every day, that is effective. The blade itself and the handle itself and everything about the knife needs to be effective, because when you're talking about or thinking about or programming in your mind carrying something for self-defense, you're talking about betting your life on that. And I personally will give you my mark of confidence that if it says Bone on it, or if you buy it off of my website, you can bet your life on it. Make sure that when you're carrying a knife, that the company that you're getting it from will give you that guarantee. Thanks for watching. Bone out.